Hey everybody, it's time for another real life superhero intro for my YouTube channels. For my YouTube channels and real life super and action hero vigilante Facebook fan page. This video, this is nothing different. It's another skinny jeans sweatsuit costume intro, and this only difference between this and the previous one, this is more positive. In this one I wear my rare blue and orange skinny jeans sweatsuit with the blue sweat jacket with zipper and the orange skinny jeans with the other accessories that go with it. Because yesterday while out on patrol, my slick cool goth emo rock and roll baggy skinny jeans sweatsuit black baggy skinny jeans sweatsuit, it was pouring, it was heavy rain yesterday, pouring, and yesterday it got soaked so bad that the clothes which hasn't been washed in 2 to 3 weeks was just stinking terribly. The stench was too strong, even too strong for me, that I had to change clothes and put it in the wash. So now I'm wearing the blue and orange. In this video, I also want to redo this video this will be the first time that I have an intro where I won't use either of the Sonic I won't use either of the Sonic themes. Instead, I'll be using 2 pro wrestling themes, and both of them are for the professional wrestler Jeff Hardy. As is my costume and my mannerisms in the video will be similar to Jeff Hardy and several other wrestlers. So several other wrestlers such as Booker T, and of course the usual ones: Teddy Hart, Bobby Lashley, and Brian Cage. Well, anyway, yeah, I'll be using 2 songs. I will once again be using "Modest" to the top, and I will also be using "Modest" to the top, the 2010 remix, and the 2012 and 13 Similar Creatures theme. So with that being said, let's get this intro started right now.
Yeah, it's giving grandma tendencies. Grandma,
straight to the top, the way you can head up and start showing you why we should go. No one is real, no one is still the only way to blow the bands and dirty days. No way that your body's as strong as your face in this life. There's a lot of time to get a showcase. It's more show again. Show how this time you don't have to lie. Show the way to make it right. Make it. Show
Hey everybody, it's time for another real life superhero. Hey everybody, it's time for another real life superhero review. I mean, a real life superhero video. And as you can see by the title above, this is a video I've been trying to do for multiple weeks, now months, now a couple of months now, and that was my rant on pedophile, and child predator catching groups like the worst, the females, Courtney Elixibeth, protect the innocent, and then the male groups I do enjoy, Skeeter Gene. I hate Trilogy Media. I should have mentioned him along with the females, but Trilogy Media, whom I can't stand. Predator Poachers, Massachusetts, who I'm a fan of, PP, which is PP Mass, CC Unit, and even the legendary Chris Hansen, who started it all for this new type of profession. What inspired this rant right here, because what inspired this rant was one of the catches featured on Courtney Elixibeth's catch. Prior to that video, I was a huge fan of these predator poacher groups and appreciated what they did. I appreciated what they did for people. Until I realized they weren't really accomplishing anything. It was all about the money and views, which I'm going to explain when I get to the on-camera portion. Yeah, dog is in this video. I hope he won't be too much of a problem. I prefer him to stay on the bed, but at least you get a view of him in this video along with me in my skinny jeans, blue and orange skinny jeans sweatsuit with zipper and high top footwear, gloves and shades and stuff. So yeah, costume. So yeah, but I saw a video from Courtney Elixibeth, and this is when my respect for these independent child predator and pedophile catching groups completely went down. And this will be my rant and my issues and gripes and apologies to multiple people, because I defended haters. I defended these guys from various haters. I hated how various haters criticized what they did, and not only haters but various other people who run businesses and stores, not only criticized what they did, but even interfered and stopped the predator catchers and pedophile catchers from getting the job done. But like I said, I saw that video and I planned to make this video. I kept putting it off and on, but here it is right here, the predator catchers. So yeah, here my rant on predator and pedophile catchers. So with that being said, let me make my way on the camera right now. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, when it comes to these predator catchers, when it comes to these pedophile catching groups, in one of my previous videos, which you can see the links to those will be in the description box below for those of you who want to see the previous versions, and you can find them all over my channel. In my previous versions, I compared these guys to the real life superheroes, the real life superhero movement, and I loved what they were doing because these guys brought the movies, animes, comic books, whatever. They brought it to real life, to the streets. Only instead of catching actual criminals, you were capturing a group of criminals that we all knew about, but we didn't focus on, and that was child predators and pedophiles, those are all around. People like me, prior to discovering them, you're worried about real criminals who rob, steal, kill from people, from you and other people. That's what I was worried about. That's what I was worried about. And see, when I saw these shows, I had tried never to miss an episode. Whenever these are my favorites: DC Unit, Predator Poachers Massachusetts, Predator Poachers Toronto, Alex of Predator Poachers Texas, Southeast Texas, the leader of the Predator Poachers organization. Skeeter Gene, the most respected predator, child predator, and pedophile catcher. CC unit, and then of course your female predator catchers. Courtney Elixibeth, and PTI, protect the innocent. There's more, which I'll talk about a couple. I'll talk about one or two of them later. But yeah, I used to always never miss an episode. Whenever I did watch an episode, when I watched the episode, they show the beginning, the guys waiting to approach, waiting for the victim, that said predator to show up at the said place. Then they would interrogate them for several minutes, sometimes even an hour, and then later they would and then when it's over, they would finally call the cops if it is needed. If it is needed, they would call the cops, and for the cops who actually did do something, they would arrest them, and that was the last you see. But you never saw the aftermath of what happened. So I thought these guys, who basically who all these guys were doing was posing as minors online, and meeting up and setting up meetings with that said pedophile and predator, and going to places to meet, shame, and embarrass them, which will make this hard to prosecute in court. Because firstly, number one, he or she, it's mostly he's, the she's are much smarter predators, which I'm going to get to that later. Mostly he's men predators. Firstly, they weren't actually talking to an actual kid. They were talking to you, that said predator catcher, child predator catcher. They were talking to him. They were talking to you. They weren't talking to an actual kid. They weren't talking sexually to an actual, and sending graphic pictures to an actual kid. They were sending it to you. Which sending the graphic pictures, that's the only thing you can really convict someone on. But other than that, they haven't committed a crime yet. Being a pedophile is not a crime. Being a pedophile and offending, actually going out of your way to meet and touch an actual kid is a felony. Is a felony. So these guys weren't even being prosecuted. A lot of these guys walked free because of what these independent investigators who don't work with cops, they hold these long interviews, interrogate, bully, and embarrass the said victim for several hours, and finally decide to call the cops. At the last minute. Finally decided to call and cross their fingers, please, that they get an arrest. And they get an arrest, but only a few of these have actually went to jail. And some of the ones who went to jail, they went to jail for other things, not the pedophilia stuff, especially the ones who are actual criminals. In one episode of CC Units show, CC Ghost of CC Unit, he captured a gang member. The cop who showed up there immediately arrested the gang member, but he didn't arrest him for his pedophile activity. No, he arrested him for the drug charges and his various gang-related activity. There was another one involving an Asian predator at a store looking for a special pill that helps you use the bathroom, called a poop pill, something like that. When you're constipated, that helps you, that relieves you and helps you use the restroom. This guy, the guy ended up getting arrested. The Asian child predator ended up getting arrested at the end, but it wasn't for the pedophilia stuff. It was for his drug charges prior to that. Is why he was arrested. So like I said, these guys don't go to jail, and he was me praising them, comparing them to the real life superheroes and the actual real life superhero movement. When firstly, this is the difference. Those predators, not only do they go free, it makes it look bad. The goal is to capture these guys. We, like YouTube user Tipster said, we don't just want to see these predators get humiliated, get embarrassed in a YouTube video. We want to see them be convicted. We want to see them go to jail so they can't harm another kid again. Dude, setting up a sting operation, interrogating, bullying, and harassing a predator for several minutes, and crossing your fingers and calling the cops, and the cops arresting them just so the cops will let them go, because they don't have really concrete evidence or an actual case to truly convict these guys, is a waste of time. It makes your organization and your movement, which is terrible, your movement look bad. Even Chris Hansen, the greatest, the one who invented and started it all, he didn't get the best results. A lot of his predators walked free too. And I've heard recently Chris Hansen I heard from Tipster that he recently did a bunch of slimy and scumball things too. So he's a slime and scumball too. He's not the saint and the hero I made him out to be. So, yeah, going back to comparing them to the real life superheroes, I like to call them task force missions. Whenever a superhero, whatever it is, whenever they go on any form of mission and go out on any form of patrol, whatever it is, they always get results. Whatever it is, whether it's feeding the homeless, feeding and passing out food and supplies to the homeless, activism, or my favorite, actual crime fighting, removing drug dealers, or preventing anyone from committing any form of crime. They get results. They get results. The legendary real life superhero and vigilante Phoenix Jones, during his time, he made over, I think, 200 plus, captured and made over 200 plus arrests and criminals. And those people were actually convicted. Those people actually went to jail for those crimes. He caught them in the act while they were doing it. So that's why I will never compare them. Whenever I do my favorite and best and salute of the real life superheroes again, I will remove the Predator Poachers from the list, or at least move them to a different part of the list. Maybe the honorable mentions for the ones I still do enjoy. Because like I said, these guys, and then like I said, in the superheroes, there is no money in it. There is no money in it with the superheroes. The superheroes have real jobs in real life, have real jobs in real life, and set up special donations to help other people. But no, there's no money in. There's no money in it. Being a superhero is his or her own reward. Being a hero helping people is his or her own reward. These child pedophile predators, it's all about money, the bag, views, and clout. And for those who say it wasn't, and for those who say it is not, if it wasn't, they wouldn't. If it wasn't, they wouldn't have these various PayPals, GoFundMe's, money donations, and they wouldn't have a show. As soon as you got your evidence, you would go right to the police officer. Despite my newfound hatred and disdain for the child predators and pedophile catchers, I still want to get involved in that myself. You would go to the police. You would go to the police, or for me, since trying to convict these guys would be hard, how about I try to deplatform you, try to get your job or your family to deal with you. Since actually convicting you will be hard because you're not talking to an actual kid, you're talking to me posing as a kid. But yeah, there's one of the predators I still enjoy, and actually I don't watch him because he doesn't have much of a show, because he's all about catching child predators. Catching child predators. He doesn't have much of a show. He doesn't have a guy with a camera or a phone walking around filming people holding these long interviews. No, as soon as he collects the evidence, he gives it to the police, and the police show up ready to arrest said predator, and he gets the best and most result. His name is Lucian of Motor City Justice, who I've seen on the YouTube user Tipster's channel. He gets the most views, he gets the most results. And it's not about views, because you don't see much of a show from this guy. He has a channel, but you don't see much of a show. You don't see video recordings of the various sting operations that they set up. Then what these people do, they just go there and cause a public disturbance. The worst. The male child predator catching groups, they have some class. They have some class and some professionalism. The females do not. They are the perfect example of Karens. Female Karens. They are the ultimate examples of Karens who let their feelings and unfortunately their passion get in the way of professionalism and their job, and end up screwing up everything for everyone. Is what these female characters are. Let's start off with the loudmouth, Protect the Innocent. I was a huge fan of Protect the Innocent for her tough girl approach. Humiliating, and making sure what these predators do is no good. Humiliating and scaring these male child predators. I was a fan of hers until the Courtney Elixibeth video. Before we get to Courtney Elixibeth, until I realized that she's not getting anything done. She, whenever she does her catches, all she does is go in the store, All she does is go in the store, harass the employees. Now, to people online, watching you online, we know you're capturing a predator. But to people in the store, especially the other employees in the store, you are harassing and bothering employees. You're harassing and bothering employees. Like there was one guy named Jabril, an Afro-American at Walmart. I think he was either Afro-American or Brazilian or one of those. Or I think mixed, maybe both. Well, anyway, to us, it was the PTI woman following around a Jabril who was a child predator, following around to a child predator. But to the people working at Walmart and the other employees, it's a white girl. The leader of Protect the Innocent is a Caucasian woman following around and harassing an Afro-American, and two Afro-Americans, as the other woman who is protecting Jabril doesn't know about his child predator activity, and trying to protect the employee, work and get paid and go home, and here's you causing disturbance. Or the worst one was another Walmart catch involving, this is the first predator to appear in 2 episodes. There was a predator who dresses like a girl, who looks like and dresses like a girl, a woman named Jonathan. He appeared in a previous predator catching video where Protect the Innocent not only did she not expose him and let him go, but he didn't learn his lesson. He was still back to talking with minors online. He went back to his daily life working as usual. He didn't get help. He didn't do any of that. So we get to the next episode. The Walmart episode. Instead of going straight to the police or the manager the first time, now she goes in there, tries to interrogate him again. For what purpose would be interrogating him again be? He didn't learn his lesson the first time. Go call the police or go get the manager. Instead, she walks into the barbershop place in Walmart that he works at, and she walks in there breaking the rules. They said no video camera, no footage in there. And she expected them to know the manager, the guy's bosses and co-workers to know about his pedophile and predator activity when they don't know. They weren't chatting with him online like you were. They don't know about his secret life. She was expecting him, and then she went in there and later went outside the barbershop and into the store area where people are calling and saying the Jonathan guy is a pedophile, and ended up getting security called on her and escorted out while Jonathan is still working there. Jonathan is still working it, and had one of those people attack and brutalize Jonathan, not only would Protect the Innocent be in trouble, but once again, it will be hard to prosecute. You can't prosecute him because you just incited a huge, gigantic beatdown and you made a victim out of the said predator catcher. I don't have the tools to catch predators, tools and transportation to catch predators yet, but if I was giving her tools and all the stuff she has, I could do a way better job than she does. And like I said, then you got their fanboys. Oh yes, let me get to their fanboys and fangirls before I get to let me forget to Courtney Elixibeth. What this a-hole did. I unsubscribed her YouTube channel. I unfollowed her on Instagram, and I unfollowed her group, unliked and unfollowed her group on Facebook. This is, next to Protect the Innocent, this is the worst predator catcher of all time. And like I said, it be these females. Yes, male catching is child predator catching is a male's job. They are more professional. They don't let their feelings get in the way of their duty. And they at least get better results than these females do right here. Than these lean females do. Yeah, Courtney Elixibeth. This asshole, in one episode, she's gonna she lured a predator to her house. She lured a predator to a house. She lured a predator to a house. She convinced him to take a shower in her bathroom. Then Skeeter Jean, I was pissed that Skeeter Jean was involved with this. He's usually okay when he's not involved with hijinks like what I'm about to talk about. Skeeter Jean and the other guy, Trilogy Media, these a-holes had the audacity and the genius idea to take and hide this guy's clothes and sit and interrogate and bully and mock this guy who was sitting on the couch naked, nude, for 30 plus minutes, man. I think the video was even longer than that. 30 plus minutes. I'm actually surprised YouTube hasn't removed that video yet. That is not predator catching. That is not child protection activism. That is, or anti-pedophile activism. That is not any of that. That is not any form of professional. This is bullying. This is bullying and public humiliation at its finest, which is not only against YouTube and social media's policy, but also will prevent this said child predator from being prosecuted. And if he can find a good lawyer, he can sue them for what they did. Because once again, he wasn't talking. They kept lecturing him, saying, "Oh, you were talking sexually with a kid." He wasn't talking. He wasn't actually talking. He wasn't talking with the He wasn't talking with a kid. He wasn't talking with a kid. He was talking to you, posing and pretending to be a kid. Once again, being a pedophile is not illegal. Being a pedophile and offending is illegal. Going out of your way to actually touch, rape, meet up with a child inappropriately, that, or talking with an actual child sexually, that is a felony. And it was just where I realized these are not the heroes I made them out to be, and all the haters who called these guys out on BS were right. They don't get results. I'm this too, but they are even more so. And they don't get results at all. And that is, they are not only public disturbance causers. They are not only public disturbance causers, troublemakers, bullies, clout and popularity chasers, and money-hungry assholes. That's what these guys are. Yes, pedophiles are bad, but these guys aren't so bad. And then I hate their fans. I now hate their fans now, because their fans think because you're against these guys and girls, you're against these guys because you're against these guys and girls. Oh, that must mean I'm a pedophile myself, or I'm defending a pedophile. No, there is no heroes in this situation. Yes, what the pedophile is doing is not right either, but what you, the child predator catcher, is doing is not right either. And what you're doing is not, and you're not getting results. And then you got the other ones, the naive ones, which I used to be, who were like, who are always in the comment section talking about their tragic stories of how they got inappropriately touched and how they appreciate what these guys are doing. Congratulations, saying good job, acting like these people are actually doing stuff and are actually getting stuff done, when none of these pedophiles, none of these predators actually go to jail. And since these guys haven't done anything wrong, they haven't put away any actual child predator, and since the child predator hasn't done anything or was talking with you online, an adult pretending to be a kid, they haven't met with a kid, so they haven't met with a kid, and since they haven't met with a kid, you can't convict them on anything, so you haven't helped any kids, and guess what? That said predator, he or she, mostly he, will be out to molest a real kid because you screwed up. And since you screwed up online and fish them and set them up online, they'll be more careful when it comes to hiding their identities in the near future. So yes, this the child predator activism, the child predator and anti-pedophile activism movement does not scare predators. No, it convinces them. It convinces them to be better at hiding their identities. And then, now, the most famous predator caught was YouTube user EDP445, Brian Morley. See, he was a world famous YouTuber. His life is completely ruined, even though he didn't get convicted or go to jail. Now, the average child predator, he or she is not famous. So yeah, you'll embarrass and shame them and public humiliate them for a while, but people will eventually forget, and they'll be back to molesting a real kid in the future. So what I'm getting at is these pedophile groups, I used to think they were great people. They were super awesome people. And ultra high caliber people, heroes, champions. No, there ain't none of that. And I was wrong to compare them to the real life superheroes. I was wrong to compare them to the real life superheroes. And also, then you got ones that I like, such as Predator Poachers, Massachusetts. This guy, I considered him the best until one incident. It was I think it was either sometime last year or early this year. I think it was last year. He accidentally caught the wrong guy. Just like with law enforcement, this is a job where you cannot mess up. You cannot capture the wrong guy or the wrong person. You will totally screw up that person's life. You could potentially screw up that person's life. This guy, who was supposed to be a pro, accidentally caught the wrong guy. Then the other two, CC Unit and Predator Poachers, Texas, Southeast Texas. When they got copyrighted, CC Unit actually got his channel terminated. When they got copyrighted, they told us to move to their newest platforms, because they quoted as saying YouTube protects child predators. No, YouTube does not protect child predators. They have a problem with people like you causing public disturbances, and basically cyberbullying. What you're doing is bullying. You are interrogating and bullying and humiliating and shaming a guy for 20 plus minutes. For our entertainment, which I enjoy, but you are what you call it. If you are truly serious about predator catching, you will go get the cops. You will go talk to the manager immediately. Not chase these guys around. Causing all sorts of public disturbance, or come in stores yelling and acting crazy and doing all the terrible things you did. CC Unit, I haven't seen this. Actually, there was two. The first one I did see. Once CC Unit, he's usually professional, but he was unprofessional here and was being a total narcissist. He got mad when another guy accidentally interrupted his live stream, and he went up to the other guy, calling him pussy, and started fighting, and started cursing out and fighting with the other guy, while the predator over here goes free. He was more focused on this guy interrupting his live stream than the predator over here. Then the one I haven't seen that I heard from Tipster, this guy ran after and chased the pedophile to the point that this pedophile accidentally ran into CC Unit, and the pedophile accidentally ran into these innocent people's business, and people who had every right to criticize CC Unit and the other guy for it. CC Unit apparently showed no sympathy for the actions he caused and convinced a bunch of his fans to give negative reviews to that business. And I haven't seen this one. I only heard about it from Tipster. YouTube user Tipster. And they wonder why they get suspended. No, they're not trying to protect pedophiles. If YouTube was doing that, they would not have permanently banned YouTube user EDP445. And for all the pedophiles who still are on YouTube, YouTube doesn't know about their pedophile activity, their child predator activity. With EDP445, he was a world famous YouTuber, and he was caught and set up in a super big sting operation. If you need proof of what he's doing, there's abundance of proof all over the internet of what that guy was doing. With the others, there isn't. That's why they're still on YouTube. But YouTube does not protect pedophiles, and that's one of the things I applaud YouTube for. They really get down. They really are serious. YouTube, Facebook, and other forms of social media, they are really serious about these child predators and pedophiles. And once they know what you're doing, they will take action and permanently ban you, like they did EDP445. But they also got a problem with public disturbance causers, bullies, and basically clout chasers like yourself, and that's why you get banned, and that's why you get terminated. So yeah, this was my rant on predator catchers. Might do individual rants on Chris Hansen and the other people later, and definitely praise and salutes. The only predator groups I still enjoy, besides the ones I just mentioned: Skeeter Gene, CC Unit, Predator Poachers, Massachusetts, Toronto, and Southeast Texas, and of course Lucian of Motor City Justice, the best, and the legendary Chris Hansen, who started it all. But the newest one, they don't do much because these are the only guys who do it right. They actually, firstly, they have full-time jobs. They don't need stupid PayPals, GoFundMes, or various donations. No, they have full-time jobs, and because they have full-time jobs, they were mocked for this. Because they have full-time jobs, they don't catch as many predators as CC Unit and them. But those CC Unit, they've caught more predators, but they haven't got them convicted. They haven't got those convictions, so they haven't really done anything either. But these guys, Alabama, they have the most exciting, the Alabama Predator Approach Patrol. They have the most exciting channel, and they are more professional. Even though some of their tactics are a little extreme too, but they're a little bit more they're more entertaining and more professional than the other guys. And especially those females who they really need to find real jobs and leave predator catching, child predator, pedophile catching to men. That is a men's job. Well, like I said, this was a video I've been wanting to make for a long time. You want to hear the rest of the music? Turn the video off right now. To see the previous versions, to see how far my opinion has changed, the links will be in the description box below.
lose its